yeah, music fans. You know what time it is. It is the drop. We are coming to you from Cactus Music World Headquarters here in H-Town, Houston, Texas, for the rest of y'all that don't know that. Quinn Bishop is here, and he has the list.
We got a big list, man. We got a bunch of stuff to talk about. We're going to start by talking about in-store events at Cactus Music. We're firmly back in the in-store business.
In the game,
it feels
baby.
Great. It feels great. This Saturday at 1 p.m., we have No Boy performing at the store, and this is such a cool event. We have tried numerous times to put together events with Houston's Asia Society, and this is the first one that's really come together.
Okay.
So records will be arriving shortly, but it is this artist, and you can see him that night at the Asia Society. If you've never been there, it is an unbelievably beautiful facility. 7:30 p.m. What you need to know about him? It's pop music, it's folk music, it's kind of one-man band-esque. But great songs, but there's a lot of storytelling going on as well. I just loved the record the first time I heard it. Lots of programming, totally unique. It's tough to describe. Multimedia, electronic, but yet it's all rooted in great songs. Come by the store, enjoy a complimentary St. Arnold beverage, and see some great new music that you're probably completely unaware of. And you can go see the show that night. And we're just proud to partner with the Houston Asia Society that did
I love it.
So many, or I think it's Asia
I've
Society
never been there.
Houston. Oh, the building's amazing. Yeah.
Oh, do you know what? I did do something there.
I think you did do something.
Yeah, man, but that was before COVID. That was a long time ago. Yeah, really
Right.
nice people. Yeah, I remember it was an art show, I think.
Their music programming is phenomenal. So look for more shows coming there. And I also want to mention to everybody, please pay attention to our socials, because we are going to be announcing a bunch of great in-stores and global listening parties, which have become a huge thing. The 15th next week, that we're going to have an Abbott Brothers listening party.
Sweet.
5:30 p.m. So
Hear it first.
St. Arnold's.
Here.
Pay attention, and you will know what's going on. And I just got to follow up. We didn't really get to talk too much about it, but I just want to follow up, man. Our Charlie Crockett event was amazing. He's having a moment. We had to do a wristband event. We moved 200 plus people through here in like an hour. His performance was great. He played Armadillo Palace, which only holds like 200 people.
Yep.
Fortunately, he announced he's playing in September at 713.
Yeah.
So
we're excited.
So we've got tons of copies of his record, $10 Cowboy, and we have a few pre-orders for signed editions. This is a drop exclusive, man.
Come on, baby.
We didn't put this out there anywhere.
No one knows.
We don't have a whole lot of these, but if you come in probably today, we have a few copies.
You can
signed
get
editions of $10 Cowboy.
I love it.
Just for drop viewers to show up and check it out. This guy's having a moment. He's
Very
so great.
That's going in my basket.
And he's popping. He is popping.
Good for him.
But it was great.
Good for Charlie. Really happy.
And we're hoping we get
Sweet
him
guy.
back again.
I interviewed him about 4 years ago. Amazing guy.
Okay, so let's talk about the new releases for this week.
Let's do it.
We've got a bunch of stuff to kind of run down because we missed the Mother Nature derailed us.
The storms,
but
the drop.
Tomorrow, Kings of Leon, Can We Please Have Fun? They've been on a long hiatus, and this is their first album for a new label. They're now on Capitol. They want to know if we can please have fun. Let me tell you, we can, because this is cool. They're doing a thing all day at great independent record stores. Anybody can come in. They send every store like 100 of these ginormous
Old
posters.
school.
Most of the great indie record stores out there, you can stop by. We have 100 of these. They're free to anybody just for the asking.
Love it.
Just if you want one, and then if you purchase the new record, you can have your choice of a hat or a T-shirt while they last. Bands don't do this too much anymore, but they're really trying to launch it in a big way. It's got horses on it.
Merch is always cool.
Merch is cool. They got some merch. But obviously a big moment for them relaunching after a long time off. And I haven't spent much time with the music yet, but
I've seen them live. They're incredible. They've put on a really incredible show. I have tickets to see them. They're coming in August. So I've already got my tickets.
Excellent. Ruben's way ahead of it. All right, let's talk about somebody else who's having a moment. Lave reissued Bewitched, the Goddess Edition, with bonus tracks, and there's a board game in here. And if you were, once again,
that's a first.
Yeah, if you were paying attention to Cactus's socials our Instagram. She was on vocal rest when she was here on Record Store Day, so we couldn't do an event. But she signed boxes of LPs for us at the Green Room.
That's nice.
And we made them available the Friday afterwards. It was awesome to see 100 or so fans here just
I love it,
losing their minds to get an autographed copy.
I'm not into her yet. I've tried a couple of times, but I'm happy for her as someone producing music.
It's important. Like ceiling of artistry in that you've got a 22-year-old
Thank you for saying
young woman, basically singing like Dinah Washington or Sarah Vaughan.
Yeah.
Here's what you hear say this a lot on the drop. Just go watch the Tiny Desk concert. If you don't get it from that, you're not going to get it. But she's making important, impactful music. Also, just out, she just reissued her first record. I think it's the first time this has ever been on vinyl. Typical of me. She's a brilliant guitar player, brilliant pianist, writes fantastic songs. She's got the whole package. If you're not on the Lave train,
get it.
Did you hear what she did in New Orleans? I think it was in New Orleans.
With Jazz Fest?
She was playing a proper gig, and somebody had, because all the shows are selling out instantly, somebody had fleeced a bunch of fans and created counterfeit tickets. They had 300 people with counterfeit tickets, and they held back the show to figure out a way to get all those people in. Great. It wasn't just like, hey, you're out of luck.
Yeah. Good job.
Okay. More great ladies with new records. Of course, the new Dua Lipa. I love this album cover, Radical Optimism. Maybe you saw her on SNL. She was in every skit. She was like in every skit. I didn't see it,
but I heard about it.
It was good. She did a good job.
And she released for Record Store Day, had the release with Noah.
Yeah.
Right?
Was that was
Rodrigo.
Was
Olivia
Rodrigo?
I got confused.
That's okay.
Because we've got Noah today.
And
coming up later.
3-time Grammy winner, 7-time Brit. This record could not be more anticipated by her fans.
Yeah.
And now they just announced she's going to headline ACL.
Yeah, I would say her career is.
She's going to do okay.
This is the trajectory you want for your career right now.
She's going to do. She's going to do just fine. Just fine.
Okay.
Okay. This is a cool one. These guys are back, and I feel like they only make a record like every 5 or 6 years, and when they do, they give the people what they want. There's a new album from the Pet Shop Boys. Nonetheless, it even looks like a classic Pet Shop Boys record.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
There's an expanded version with a bonus EP with them doing new versions of some of their hits, including Always on My Mind and It's a Sin. I
got through the first few tracks. It's Pet Shop Boys. It's what you want. I like it.
And I think it's even a little edgier. So it's a James Ford guy who's produced Depeche Mode and Arctic Monkeys, Blur, a bunch of big acts. They're on a new label, Parlophone. So again, a reset moment. This is going to be a big record for people that like dance pop music.
Hopefully we got a tour.
Yeah. Their shows are over the top.
I've never seen them.
I
hear and I want to see it.
All right.
Can I do this one?
Yes. One of our favorite guitar players.
Here we go, guys. This is the new St. Vincent. And I will tell you something, All Born Screaming. You got your indie exclusive red vinyl. Just in the first 15 minutes, if you don't know, if you cannot absorb the powerhouse that this young lady is, she's really an artist. She's not just putting music out there. She's actually painting these sonic canvases, and it's amazing. And you also get Mr. Dave Grohl on drums, at least on several of the tracks. And I think third song, Fear, might be my favorite St. Vincent track of all time.
Oh,
I'm
wow,
telling
that's
you
heavy.
Right now, get this album.
I like that Big Nothing song. I think that's a great tune as well.
Yeah. And the first track, the opener's great. And she's got a little bit of everything that just makes her incredible. She's been I feel like heavily bubbling under for a long time. Yeah.
She just needs that crack through moment.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's coming.
Yes.
Okay. One of my favorite female artists, not just female artists, favorite artists. We've talked about her several times here. Jane Weaver has a new record, In Constant Spectacle. She's a British artist, and she is like a wizard at programming. She does like programming stuff for Depeche Mode, like literally fixing how their keyboards sound on records. This record's dreamlike. It's kind of what we call like krautrock, that metronomic, mechanical. But she's one of the electronic pioneers, and she really throws it back to that. She just gets better and better and better. And this record, NPR calls her an artist at the top of her game. You're looking to listen to something new. throw this on, man.
Yeah, and this is the deluxe edition.
Deluxe edition.
I can highly recommend it. This for an afternoon, you could actually go Jane Weaver, then St. Vincent, or St. Vincent and Jane Weaver.
Hell yeah.
And that would be a good afternoon.
Hell yeah.
Music.
Okay, another artist you may not be aware of, although that this guy has made a ton of records.
I wasn't aware. I had to go listen to it.
Yeah, he's made a bunch of records. He was originally recorded for Blue Note, a jazz singer, and I don't know which record this is for him. He's made 10 or 11 of them.
I don't even know how to describe it.
Right. It's Jose James. This record is called 1978. It's called 1978 because it still has some of his jazzy tendencies in there, but that was when he like just blossomed as a music listener, and it's really an ode to Quincy Jones and his productions of the era.
Okay, I can see that,
including Off the Wall and Thriller and all that. And but he has a fantastic voice.
Yeah, he does.
He very soulful singer. It's still jazz, but he's channeling Quincy Jones, a lot of R&B from that era. And man, if you like soul, like the classic era of soul, and you're looking for something new to listen to, man, check this guy out.
It also looks like he's got the blue polyester disco suit on, the big wide lapels.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a cool album. I went in not knowing what to expect, and I kept trying to pinpoint it. I didn't know the Quincy thing, and I was intrigued, but honestly went in not knowing what I was going to get, but the voice hits you immediately.
Yeah, great groove, awesome bass lines, and then it'll have like some kind of rocking guitar shoot out of nowhere.
Put that on when your friends are over, and they're going to be like, what is that?
I think it's going to be a good summer record is what I think. I'll tell you what's going to be a big summer record for a lot of fans. Noah Kahan, man, this guy is just blown up.
He is of the moment.
I wanted to feature this release because it was actually supposed to come out like 3 months ago, and people were losing their minds trying to get it. But the messaging was bad, and people thought it was out, but it wasn't. This is the Cape Elizabeth EP. Of course, he just reissued his Stick Season record, which is huge. He had a record store day release with Olivia Rodrigo. He's like kind of groovy, hippie,
folky,
acoustic,
almost.
Folky.
I mean, this is super cliche, but like almost like a modern day Nick Drake.
Yeah, and there's a lot of like Jack Johnson.
Jack Johnson, that would be closer. Yeah, you're right.
But he's cool, and I love it. Man, I'm never gonna think it's a bad thing when young people are about somebody that's that can sing great and a real songwriter and that plays their instrument.
Real instruments.
Because, man, we constantly talk about stuff that's just like made on a laptop. And
there's a lot of killer stuff made on a laptop, obviously.
There is. I'm not disparaging that.
But I'm with you 100%.
This is one of my favorite records of the year so far.
Already. Just went right to it. Wow.
This is the Pernice brothers. This is Who Will You Believe? This has a very interesting story. Joe Pernice, who's a brilliant songwriter. He's got a very cool voice. This is a song cycle about, so he had 3 of his best friends pass within 6 months. Yeah. Rough stuff. Horrible. And then all in the middle of that, he was despondent about the country being divided and all that. And it's strange because I had read about the bio of this record, which was probably recorded 6 months ago. And then there's a new book that's out, and it was talking about the fact that, there's always been one set of facts, and everybody argues about what to do based on those. And now in the book and this record is basically like, no, there's 2 sets of facts that people are working from out there, and that's the problem.
Got it.
And so it's a concept record about that, but man, his voice is great. Songs are super catchy. We have some autographed limited editions, so check that out. It's solemn, contemplative, obviously based on the circumstances, but great record from Joe Pernice. Good to have him back. All right, now this is a new release I'm thrilled to talk about. I'm seeing this guy next week. This is Kamasi
Are
Washington.
You really?
Oh, yeah.
Where's he performing?
He's playing at House of Blues. You want to go?
I do want to go.
All right.
100%. I did not know that.
It's a date. Look at that. A drop date.
Listen.
Look for us there.
Listen. Go ahead.
This is the last, this is the last show I saw before the pandemic. It was last time he was there.
I think you told me something about that.
And it blew my mind. It's this like, the last tour was very much spiritual jazz and taking you from one spot and dropping you off somewhere else. This is more Latin funk, hip hop and soul. It's kind of dancey in places. It's funkier. He's one of like the best jazz musicians of our time. Modern. And it will blow your mind.
I've always found his music. It's not unless you're into jazz or even new jazz, classic jazz, cool jazz, whatever, it's one of those. He's one of those artists. It's not immediately accessible. You just don't like, oh, play more of that. Yeah. You got to get into it. You got to listen to it. It takes a while for you to figure out where he's coming from. Like you said, very spiritual at times, very spatial at times, just kind of like, you might feel like you're floating in a lake at night looking at the stars,
that's great. Yeah.
But he's such a talented musician, composer. And I really think that, looking back in decades from now, this guy's going to be one of the most important jazz musicians of the modern era.
And when you get there, when it clicks with you, and it is so rewarding, and it's just bliss.
And the man
check
can
him out.
play. He can just rip.
And he surrounds himself by a ton of great musicians.
Yeah. And it's on red and blue vinyl.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Come get it, people.
Yeah.
It's hot right now.
For our next segment, we sometimes do this. This is the Record Store Day Dreams Still Come True segment, and that's because we load up on Record Store Day stuff so that we have them for fans that couldn't get to the store on Record Store Day. And I just wanted to highlight a few great ones that we have not talked about before that are still in the stores. And in most of the stores, if you're near a great store, you have a favorite store, they probably still have these, and they're important and you want to know about them. The Cure, have this long running Record Store Day series of picture discs, and the latest one is The Top. Really a fan favorite from this band. People that love the band love this record. Of course, the artwork's great, works really well as a picture disc.
Right.
So that's fun. There's people that are collecting the whole series.
Super cool.
That's where we are. And there's you're seeing with them going back to the studios and the 50th anniversary of hip hop. You're seeing a lot of interesting content coming. This is Ready to Die, the instrumentals from Notorious Big, and they're calling it a 12-inch, but it's full. It's like 50 minutes of remixes or not remixes, but the instrumental backing tracks of Big Papa, Juicy, Unbelievable, a lot of his big tunes. A lot of hip artists do that because the tracks that they build on this, sing over are just fantastic, coming from a bunch of different samples. And the cool thing is you can do your own karaoke at home if you.
Wow, I know somebody would love this one.
We don't want to see. We might not want to hear that from everybody.
No,
they're doing
which is true with
Notorious Big.
Most karaoke. Right?
Oh yeah, I think that's true.
Sure.
This is a Record Store Day piece that's still around, and they pressed up enough to meet the demand. I just think this is an important piece. This is Weird Things Happening. This is the Screaming Trees. This is their first demos. This is Mark Lanigan, and psychedelic hard rock weirdness from the
4-track cassette recordings, baby.
Cassette recordings. Look at how young these dudes are.
Taking me back.
People know this because they hit with they know the band because they hit with when they made their big record for Sony.
Yeah.
And then Mark went solo. But they're really kind of an important, influential band of that era, and it's great to hear. I love to hear how things kind of come together in just a.
He did that thing with what's his name, the singer for Afghan Wigs too. Didn't he have a thing for a minute?
What
was that called?
Something Brothers.
Yeah. I like that. I like
those records are good.
Yeah,
those records are Greg Dooley. Yeah, those records.
Greg Dooley. Yeah.
So that's still around. If people want to check that out, and then and I didn't want it to this one to get passes with talking about this thing had never been on vinyl. Maybe in Europe for 10 minutes, and it would cost you hundreds of dollars to find one. They finally reissued Dead by Sunrise, Out of Ashes, and that's Chester Bennington's side project. And
because I saw it on the list and I didn't recognize it.
Yeah, so not a lot of people know the name, but this was a piece that people were really psyched about, and I was pleased that Warner's pressed up enough so that so everybody could get it, because that's such a drag.
So for the fans out there not familiar, what does it sound like? What does this project sound like?
I mean, it's heavy, but it's different. You know, I mean, if you're a
departure from Linkin Park.
If you're a Linkin Park fan, you'll get it, and I think that's why there was so much demand. But people that are, a font of songwriting, they probably write too much for just one band. So that's you get spill over into projects like this.
Come on, I'm working.
Stop calling me. And that's so those are still around record stores. You're looking for great Record Store Day titles, not sold out on Record Store Day. Those dreams still coming true.
This is cool.
Okay, so now for our always popular reissue part of the program. This is a big one. This is the 40th anniversary of Def Leppard's Pyromania. This is a big kahuna. This has got This is the CD box set that has tons of content. And I don't think all of it's for streaming. I think you can only hear the live shows, the outtakes, demos, rough mixes, live at the Forum 83, and plus a Blu-ray disc with 5.1 and Atmos mixes of this monstrous
everything's on
record. Everything is on here.
Tour.
I did too.
Yeah.
Did you buy the British flag T-shirt?
I did not.
I did.
I didn't love the T-shirts. I thought the T-shirts were great.
Silly. I don't know.
Or maybe I just didn't have money. Probably I didn't have money. Let's go with I didn't have any money.
This is available on multiple formats. Obviously, it's a single disc remaster, but there is a 2 LP set that has the studio outtakes on it. So if you're looking for that, an iconic record, really kind of changed how hard rock sounded after this. I feel like this is a huge record. Mutt Lange, obviously. So check that out if you're a fan. And then, if you thought there wouldn't be another Pink Floyd Dark Side of the Moon
I was thinking that last
reissue,
night. I'm like, there can't be.
50 years of Dark Side of the Moon, which is remarkable.
Yeah.
Like one of the greatest selling records ever. This is pretty, I got to say, this is pretty neat. This is a 50th anniversary collector's edition, and it's got UV printed art on clear vinyl. So you can only play, it's the content's divided between 2 records so that you can see the artwork while the record's playing. It's really pretty wild looking.
Nuts.
Yeah. And this is a super limited edition. It's a little pricey, but obviously they have to print an image on one side, the clear vinyl that you can see through the other side. So packaging is really nice, but
if you're obsessed by this band,
it's one that'll be gone soon, and probably the greatest. I mean, forever. If somebody's got a new stereo, they need to test something. What record are they going to
Dark
put
Side
on
of
first?
the Moon,
They
man.
want to hear that heartbeat
To check the fidelity,
right?
Absolutely, 100%. I love it.
Okay, so let's talk about some. We got some jazz reissues, always a popular program, and these 2 records are tied, both Blue Note records, tied together with the great Herbie Hancock, which is always a good guy to talk about when you're talking about jazz records. This is his 1965 record. 1968 record, "Speak Like a Child." And what you need to know about this is, so he has his monstrous Blue Note record was Maiden Voyage, and that's from 1965. But it took him 3 years. You know, he never stopped recording, but he was on other people's records. But for his own record, it took him 3 years to follow it up. And this is really, an odd record. It doesn't get reissued that often because there's like flugelhorn and just odd instrumentation on it. And it's really a unique record in his catalog. Worth hearing if you're a Herbie fan at all. This is a very different
go check
record.
it out. Okay, cool.
And then tying it together, we've got Bobby Hutcherson, Happening. So this is a record, same era, 1966. How cool is that cover, man? That is a great cover. Blue Note, man. The photographers just nailed it.
Yeah.
So you got Herbie Hancock on piano, Joe Chambers on drums, Bob Crenshaw on bass. And this is, a vibes record, which, I feel like you don't need a whole lot of vibes records, but, it's good to have a vibes record.
But it's good to have a really good one.
It's good to have a really good one.
In the roster.
And this is it, 66. So there's 2 kind of maybe essential Herbie Hancock records that you're not familiar with and whose names won't really pop up a whole lot.
Perfect.
So worth checking those out. So
we great list as always.
Hey man,
Quinn as the curator of everything cool. We've got 1:38. So I want to take a moment. We lost a monster, such an important person in the music industry, modern music. Steve Albini.
We were just talking
died
about
at 61,
morning.
Heart attack. He was known for his wizardry on the board as an engineer. Obviously, famously worked on Nirvana's In Utero.
Mm-hmm.
Also Pixies, and the list goes on and on of what he did. I was aware of him going back to Big Black,
Mm-hmm.
Rape Man, but I didn't start listening to him till Shellac.
Right.
And those records blew my mind.
Yeah.
And then I was like, how does he get that guitar sound? Should I just sell everything I own?
So, and Jonathan,
but I figured it out, obviously. But such an important guy. Major loss, 61 heart
61,
attack.
I know. I don't like those numbers.
No,
I do not like those numbers at all.
No.
Jonathan, our longtime Cactoid, came in the door this morning, and that was the first thing that we were talking about. And like you're saying, even if you don't value you don't like his bands or his musicianship, the way that guy recorded drums, the way that guy recorded guitar, changed the sound of popular, aggressive alternative music.
Did he do First Smashing Pumpkins record?
I cannot recall.
Because, Chicago band. I don't know. Anyway, guys, that is The Drop. You'll get another installment next week. And remember, you can go to the Fox 26 YouTube channel, type in The Drop. You can go see episodes from the past. And there we go. We're out of here. See you guys. Bye. Later. I got to remember to turn this off.